go.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Rebecca Desta, and I am a law clerk with Citizen She United. And we are here to talk about the role of the DA's race.
Thank you, Rebecca. Yes, we are. This is our topic for this morning, our topic Tuesday. And so really excited to bring that up. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and get started. So Rebecca, today we're going to talk about
what the heck does the district attorney do?
Okay, so my internet issues, we got the storm and the wind going. So, it's going to go back and forth between me and Rebecca. But at the end of it, y'all going to know exactly what the district attorney does. Is that right, Rebecca?
Right.
Awesome. Next slide, please. So for those of y'all that don't know me, my name is Nia Weeks. I am the founder and executive director of Citizen She. And here at Citizen She, we are building an aligned base of Black women who inform, advocate for, and enact a collective policy agenda. Basically, trying to get Black women to vote and trying to get Black women to put policy in place so that we can change our lives. And I'm so lucky that I have this incredible woman here with me because Loyola gives me law clerks every year. Next slide, please. And today we have Rebecca. Yay! And you know what? I always put this in because Black girl law students always rock. Rebecca, why don't you tell them a little bit about yourself?
Hi, everyone. So again, my name is Rebecca Desta, and I'm a second-year law student at Loyola University. And I am excited to be a law clerk at Citizen She this semester and to be here with you all today.
Yes, and I'm so happy to have you, Rebecca. Rebecca's also put together an op-ed with her fellow law clerks, Michaela and Chanel, and y'all can read that on Rise Up, and I'll put that in the chat. But they have done a lot of work, and they're doing incredible work with me this summer. This semester. So thank you so much, Rebecca. One of the ways that we organize and educate is through film. We have been really lucky to have multiple docuseries that talk about the issues and give you a visual that's important for you all to see and hear the voices of those that are impacted. Because, everyone doesn't want to always hear me talk. I talk enough in the courtroom. And so we're going to play a film for you that was produced by our wonderful production company, 4910 Rosalie Productions, under the creative director and leadership of producer Damian D. Smith. And so we're going to get that film going. Justice system players. Let's find out who is in that courtroom and what they do. Thank you for that. I want to bring Damian up. Damian, can you come up on this stream for a second? All right, so I am going to actually ask you to replay that for us because sure. I want to make sure that everyone gets the full context of what you put together.
You got it. Here we go. We're going to get going on it again. Here we go.
They're the linchpin to hold a case together, to build a case, to decide what to do with the case. It's up to the district attorney whether to just dismiss the case altogether.
There's insiders There's outsiders. The insiders are prosecutors, the judges, sheriffs, and the outsiders are crime victims, the moms, the papas, witnesses, the criminal defendants, the formerly incarcerated. And the insiders want to make sure that those outsiders do not understand the system.
African American individuals are most impacted by the justice system. As a mother, a wife, or a child, our system is comprised of a lot of African American males, which add to extra burden.
Know your power. Yes.
There we go.
I love that so much. So I had asked you to put together a docuseries on the criminal justice system and specifically do one video on the district attorney's office. Can you tell us why we did that and why we put together that project at all?
Yeah, I mean, for the justice system players, kind of basically on what what we explained in the video is that how the district attorney is so powerful and how a case goes through so many different hands of elected officials before it, is adjudicated. So the issue is that we wanted to highlight that in a way that was not so directly just speaking to people, and we wanted to add a level of engagement that we think push people to action, to motivate people to action. So that was the reason, and the style was, let's have an engagement, hearing it from the voices of people who are actually making these policies and these decisions.
Absolutely. And these docuseries, we have quite a few. I think we have 12 under our belt now. And everyone's going to get to see them, throughout this cycle. But why is it so important for us to tell stories like this?
It's important to tell stories like this because it's engagement. The road to 300 is real. Like, we really have to motivate and galvanize the base to get going in a direction. So the first thing to do is find a commonality between everyone. Something that everyone wants, no matter what your political leanings are or whatever your views are. You want justice. Hopefully you want justice. You want things to be at a equal footing. So once we engage with a crowd or people in that way, we can find a way to, once you got your attention, to direct you in the right way or towards the correct policies that we advocate for.
There we go. I love it. Damien, thank you so much for your work. Thank you for this film. Y'all get ready because y'all about to be flooded with a bunch of docuseries film. Anything you see that comes from She, this is the brain behind it. Thank you so much, Damien.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you, Mia. Y'all have a beautiful day. I'll step on back.
There you go. Yay. And, it's nice to have, back in production now. We're getting fancy. We fancy, y'all. Right. So Rebecca, let's get into this lesson, right? Let's talk about what the heck does the DA do? We got the next slide and jump right in. So as a defense attorney, by the time a case reaches my hand, by the time I get that phone call that says, Nia, can you, come see my friend, my family member, me? I have a case. By the time I get it, every person that's touched it is elected. Right, Rebecca?
Right. That's anyone from a state legislator, federal legislator, maybe even the mayor, whoever enforces the laws, have all elected officials that have touched this case.
Have touched the case, right? Even like when people are housed, the sheriff is a elected official, right? Everybody that makes a decision about how this person is navigating in this regard, they're elected, right? But there's one in particular that we need, elected official, that we need to talk about. Next slide. Rebecca, who's the most powerful person of all those state actors?
The district attorney.
District attorney. And they have tools in their toolbox, y'all. They've got a whole bunch that they can do. As a defense attorney, I have tools in my toolbox. I can throw, stuff on the wall and make argument, but most of it is in response to the way the district attorney has decided to navigate the case. And so, that's why we're called defense attorneys, because, we got the offense coming and we got to defend against the defense. And the offense knows how they're going to make those plays. They know exactly what's going to happen. Isn't that right?
Right.
I love it. We can go to the next slide, please. So as like the first person, like once a person gets arrested, the judge gets, the gist, but the GA is the first one that gets all the information, right? And what do they do with that information once they get it, Rebecca?
They get to make decisions that, determine the later outcome. They get to determine whether or not they want to increase the charge, lower the charge, whether or how long that they think they want to prosecute for. They they play a huge role in what happens once they get the facts of the case.
Absolutely. And they have this like crazy power to like, if the police arrest you for one thing, they can look at the facts of the case and decide to change what you're charged with. And so if you're charged with what's called a PWIT, and for those that don't know what a PWIT is, it's possession with the intent to contribute. So they thought around it is you got a lot of drugs, you're going to sell the drugs. That's a PWIT. But say you only have a gram or two, right? Then they can actually change that charge and say,
they can change that charge, and say that it's something higher.
They get higher, so they can take a possession and make it a PWIT.
Right.
All based on the facts. As a defense attorney, I can argue and I can say that ain't right, that ain't fair, don't do that. But at the end of the day, who's making that decision, Rebecca?
The district attorney.
The district attorney makes that decision. Next slide, please. So what does the DA have the ability to do with those facts aside from just charging people up or down? What can they do, Rebecca?
So they have the ability to offer diversion instead.
Right?
And diversion, right. That just means that's like having, it's used for like rehab programs. So if it was a drug offense, they have the opportunity to send someone to rehab to prevent them from committing the crime again, rather than sending them to jail or prison.
And also, like, they can be like, I've had clients that are like, maybe the facts, the way they're laid out, we may not be able to win at trial, right? It would be really, really difficult to win at trial. And the answer to any legal question is, it depends. And so, sometimes, clients are caught in that space, don't have money for bail, and don't, want to plead guilty, which a lot of people do to get out of jail, right? And the DA can offer diversion and say, you know what? Do some classes, do some programs. Now, sometimes diversion can be cost prohibitive. It can cost $200. And for a lot of people, that's a lot of money. So they can also decide if diversion is free or how much it costs. That decision also comes from the district attorney's office. There's incredible groups out here. Women with a Vision is one of them that offers a free diversion program for people who do sex work, right? You go through as many times. It's tailored to you. You get your charge dismissed. You go on with your life. DA gets to decide who gets to do that and how much it costs. Next slide, please. Rebecca, where are we?
We are in the United States.
What is the United States? We're only 5% of the population, Rebecca. We're a little dot. Look at that. We're a little dot on the map, right? However, when it comes to people who are incarcerated, where are we?
We hold 25% of the world's incarcerated population.
That's so many people. For us to be such a small piece of the world and such a huge piece of the people who take away people's liberty, that gives you pause, right? Like, we are actually okay as a country of removing people from society, removing their liberty. I mean, that's the reality of where we are. Next slide. And we in Louisiana, which means we what?
We live in the most incarcerated state in the most incarcerated country in the world.
That's just, and there's a lot of people that have been doing a lot of work around that. I will say this statistic fluctuates. Sometimes we number 2, sometimes we number 3. But like, we are the space where more people are incarcerated than anywhere else in the world. And that by itself has to give you pause, because I love this state. I love the people in this state. And the people in this state aren't the worst people in the world.
No, that's right.
That just doesn't make sense, and it rubs me the wrong way to think about that. Next slide, please. And what about Black folks?
Now, Black people make up 33% of state residents, but make up 52% of the people in jail and 57% of the prison population.
What does that mean, Rebecca? Like in like just real term.
Means one in every 86 adults are going to end up in the criminal legal system.
They just put Black folks in jail. I mean, that's real. And that crosses socioeconomic barriers. Don't think, when I take cases, a lot of my friends and my peers, my coworkers, judges, lawyers, doctors, teachers, business owners have all been my clients, right? And so it doesn't, your socioeconomic status, the way you've navigated, does not prevent you from being entangled in the criminal justice system, especially if you're Black living in this state. Next slide, please. But hey, what's happening this fall, Rebecca?
Every DA in Louisiana is up for re-election.
Every DA! What? The most powerful person in the courtroom, one of the elected officials, is up for re-election, right? So we get to choose if we want to change who that person is. We get to choose if we want to change that to have someone that would offer more free diversion programs, allow community agencies to be a part of how people navigate through the system. We get to decide if we want someone in that office that believes humans are human, and that humans that are human deserve human dignity, right? Taking away someone's liberty, putting something through the system, it's a huge deal and a huge weight on them, their families, and the community, right? And we need someone in that office that recognizes that sees the impact on the entire space, the entire state, city, and country, that would do things justly and fairly. And we get to, the DA in New Orleans is not running again. So we get to change the tide, right? We get to change who that experiences look like and who that person is. And that's an incredible space. Next slide, please. Y'all, the people. What do the people get, Rebecca?
We have a real opportunity this fall to elect a DA who believes that every member of the community deserves to be treated like a human and treated justly.
Justly, right? What does that mean to you, Rebecca? What does that mean in your heart? And as a law student, what does that feel like to you?
That's exciting. I mean, that's huge to have the opportunity to choose someone who might actually create change. We may see less people incarcerated, and specifically less Black people incarcerated in Louisiana. And that's exciting. That
is exciting. But what people got to do to make that happen?
You got to get out and vote.
You got to get out and vote. Now, I'm one of those people, Rebecca. What if I'm one of those people that are like, my vote don't matter? It's already decided. It doesn't matter, if I make a voting plan and show up, because they already, it's not going to impact my life. Is that true?
That's not true. Your vote does matter. And I mean, we have to get as many people out there to vote if we want to see someone different in office.
Yes, thank you, Rebecca. And what Citizen She has, we are asking people to squad up. Our platform is it's not www, it's shesquadsup.motorvote.us. Go to that platform, you sign up, form your squad, make a voting plan, do all the pieces, getting ready to vote. And, and we got you. We got some fun activities. Just by watching this live, you would get some points, and those points lead to some incredible prizes, including a signed copy of Becoming by Michelle Obama. So super excited about that. I know I'm at my 200 points. I'm about to cash my stuff in today. And that's in the comments. You can go straight and click the link in our comments for the She Squads Up.motorvote.us. Squad up. And join our platform and be part of this 300,000 that's going to be voting this election cycle, because we about to make that happen, huh, Rebecca?
We are. It's exciting.
Yes, I'm so excited. Rebecca, thank you so much. Next slide, please. Rebecca, thank you so much for coming on here, taking time out. I know we got a meeting in a little bit, so I'm gonna let you go ahead and prepare, for this our squad up, our law clerk squad up. Thank you so much for joining Citizen She on our topic Tuesday, learning about what the heck does a district attorney do. My name is Nia Weeks. I'm here with, what is your name?
Rebecca Desta.
Rebecca Desta. If you have any questions or comments, you can find us on Facebook, on all social media, at Citizen She or at Citizen She United. All our stuff is that. Or you can email me. You know what I'm saying? There you go. We got the Squad Up platform. Join our Squad Up and you'll find out all things. Be linked to us. Also, I'm happy to get an email, she@citizenshe.com. If you have questions, want to collaborate, think of something dope to do, we're right here. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, and we'll see you tomorrow when She shows up, and we'll see you next week for Topic Tuesday, where we will be talking about the importance of the federal court system.
Thank you.
Yes, thank y'all. Have a wonderful morning and a wonderful day.